There's a lot to get into. There was a special teams snafu. Stop me if you've heard that before. The Rams secondary felt very vulnerable. Sam Darnold had what Tom Brady called the best game of his entire career tonight, and he was very, very good along. But your initial thoughts, Sue, after the Rams fall 31-27?
Just exactly the type of game you'd expect. Just did all the things that we said you couldn't do in the pregame. You can't give the ball right back and allow this offense to get a rhythm. The moment you can't manage the clock, this offense finds a way to create that momentum you can't stop, and that's exactly what we saw. Every time Seattle scored, it came off the back of a quick L.A. drive.
Yeah. It was incredibly close. And when, we'll go through the numbers and we'll talk about Sam Darnold having a big day like he obviously did. He threw for nearly 350 yards. Matthew Stafford threw for nearly 400 yards. They both put up crazy numbers. Neither of them threw an interception. Both of them threw 3 touchdown passes. And like we talked about during the pregame show, like we've seen these games come down to in the previous 2 times they've played each other this season, it is going to be a play or two, a drive or two, and the Rams did not execute the end of the second quarter particularly well. They had a chance to run out the clock / get more points and take a lead or a slightly larger lead in half. Instead, they had a very quick 3-and-out. They give it right back to Seattle, who takes advantage of it, goes right down there, and they score a touchdown right before the end of the half. And then the Rams make a huge mistake on special teams. Xavier Smith has a ball bounce off of him as he's falling to the ground. They recover it. They score a very quick, short touchdown 1 play later, and that's the difference in the game.
All the things that have happened over the season, we saw tonight. And this is why when it happens the first time, maybe it was a fluke. Maybe it was 1 in a million. It happens the second time. Okay, well, something needs to get fixed. But every time the Rams lost this year, it was this same exact way. A turnover, a special teams miscue, offense falling asleep, and the defense playing sloppy down the field, penalties or not, just can't cover down the field. This is all the things we saw all year long.
The Seahawks made a big mistake as well. Reek Woolen had a taunting penalty after a 4th and 12 play, or third down play, 3rd and 12. 4th down play, doesn't go. He picks up a 15-yard taunting penalty that gives the Rams a first down. Puka Nacua catches a 34-yard touchdown pass on the very next play.
On him.
On him. They go right back at him again. That's the one mistake that Seattle made. The Rams made 2. There's the difference in the game.
Yep. And I never thought in a million years that I'd say Sam Darnold's going to beat Matthew Stafford in a quarterback duel. Sam Darnold's going to outpass Matthew Stafford in a high-scoring NFC Championship game. Now, if I said that to you, you'd say, does Sam throw 2 or 3 interceptions? Were they down? Were the Seahawks down?
Sure.
No, it's when Sam is on, he's a guy. He took Minnesota to the playoffs last year. I never understood why he was written off.
They were 14-3 last year.
I never understood why he was written off so quickly in Minnesota or looked at as this guy that, you know what you're getting from Sam. What are you getting from Sam? 14 wins? That's what we last saw.
And he had 14 more this season as well. And now he's going back to not going back. He's going to the Super Bowl for the very first time. And it just was, it almost like something clicked in him halfway through the 4th quarter of the Rams game back in Week 11, where he just all of a sudden looked calmer. He looked more in control of what was going on. And tonight he got sacked a few times. And it's not like he played a perfect game, but he never looked sped up like we're talking about. It never looked like he was, seeing ghosts. It never looked like he wasn't able to do what he wanted to do. Now, there were some loose throws in there, but, that's just a football game. He was terrific tonight.
Yeah, he was great tonight. And maybe it was because he was playing at home. Maybe he was just comfortable with the tempo of the game. The entire time, the Seahawks dictated the pace of this game. Besides the 2 drives where the Rams went 6 minutes, 10-plus plays and scored, which is what was the recipe for success, the Seahawks controlled the tempo of this game. Never at one time did I feel like the Seahawks were on the bottom end of the stick. It felt like the Rams were chasing the entire time.
It did feel that way. Even when they had a lead briefly towards the end of the second half.
It never felt secure.
It felt like, all right, let's see what it's about to happen next because Seattle was able to respond so quickly. Let's talk about this one very quickly before we get into some of your phone calls, 213-799-0139. We got a lot of phone calls that we're going to get to. But the decision of the Rams on 4th and 4 with 4 minutes and 59 seconds left in the game, they opted to go for it. They were on the 11-yard line. They had a chance to go in there and take a shot. They didn't get it. They opted not to kick the field goal. Now, hindsight being 2020, had they gotten the ball back with a little bit more, a field goal obviously would have been able to tie the game right there. Instead, they decided to go for it. What did you make of that decision?
I liked it. I like that they went for it because obviously they weren't going to be able to stop the Seahawks on offense. They weren't going to. And we can't say you never know. We just saw.
Yeah.
We just saw them. The Seahawks got the ball back with 4 minutes and 27 seconds left. The Rams had 2 timeouts and a 2-minute timeout.
Grinded it out.
It didn't matter. They
couldn't get a tackle.
They couldn't get a tackle. They were off balance. It seemed like when the Rams thought they were going to run the ball, Seahawks went play action. When the Rams thought they were going to go play action, they were running the ball. It's just the entire game. I never one time felt like the Rams on defense had a step. Even when they made a play, they'd get a sack. They'd get the Seahawks in 2nd and long. It still felt like we need another play to ensure they punt.
There was only 1 or 2 plays in the whole game defensively for the Rams that felt like they were dictating the terms. On offense, they were dictating terms. And again, Seattle has the best defense in the league, and the Rams went out there and put up 27 points and were able to move the ball against the best defense in the league. Again, the Rams offense, I think, all in all, you're probably pretty pleased with what you saw. The Rams defense, like you said, though, Su'a, it felt like they were reacting to what was being done to them virtually the entire night.
And because of that, they started leaving those DBs alone in the secondary, which was my big concern. Because I said in the pregame, there's going to have to be a decision that's made. Do you decide to leave? And I said Forbes, but it wasn't Forbes.
It's Darius Williams.
It was Williams tonight. Do you decide to now, when you see, Kenneth Walker is getting 5 yards of carry, which he was, do we add an extra to the box and leave these DBs one-on-one against Jackson Smith and Jigba? You have to make a decision. And when they did, the Seahawks had blood in the water, and Jackson Smith started popping off.
Jackson Smith and Jigba torched the Rams tonight. 10 catches, 163 yards, and a touchdown. And it felt like every time they needed a play, he was the one, whether it was a big play down the field, whether it was a touchdown, whether it was a play to extend that last drive of the game to give the Rams virtually no time on the backside. Every time they needed it, JSN was the guy they went to.
He's the guy. He's their Puka. And the biggest thing for me that tonight was, again, how the Seahawks, and I don't know if it's because Devontae might not be 100%, but how the Seahawks were able to limit Devontae. Yeah, I know he scored twice.
Once.
Or he scored once, and he had a few big plays. But that offense did not look like they had Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams on opposite sides.
Puka Nacua, the stat line, pretty good. 9 catches, 165 yards, and a touchdown. Devontae Adams, 4 catches, 89 yards, and a touchdown. But I agree. See, we've watched Puka all season. We've watched Devontae all season. We've seen when they've had massive impacts on the game. They had impacts on the game, but not like we've seen previously. Again, I don't think the Rams are done with their season because their offense didn't do enough. It felt like their defense. And, again, their special teams did not do enough as well. Lots of your phone calls, and they're coming up next. 213-799